Hello YouTube, this is Intuitive Retta. How are you? I'm going to do a little reading on Putin and Ukraine. Do I care about Ukraine in general? Not so much. I do care about people passing away. The war that's going on, I feel bad for the people. I think Ukraine, is very corrupt. I think that our leaders and other leaders have used Ukraine, to do their nefarious acts with money and transfer. I mean, we have 4 high officials that children were head of gas companies in Ukraine. A lot of money passed through Ukraine. So, I don't have this. You see on the news, everybody's like, oh, Ukraine, and like it's the worst thing in the world. I think it's worse because people are dying, children and men and women, good people, innocent people, but that government is absolutely corrupt. And our corrupt government uses that government a lot. So I'm going to look at, as we know, I haven't done Putin. Hopefully this battery stays good for this whole time. I haven't done Putin since when Trump was in office. If you look at my old channel, and I was saying that Trump and Putin were playing a game of chess. So I haven't looked at anything really of Putin related in a long time, really. So Putin, as we know, is a chariot in the tower. He's very stubborn, very masculine, very stubborn, very, very alpha. And when he makes a decision, he goes full steam ahead, damn the consequences, because there's that tower event. And his stubbornness could be the detriment to himself, his country, or whatever. This year, in 2022, it's his Hierophant year. So that's the year of his law and order. Like, getting things in order, organizing. And if you ever look at the card of the Hierophant, it's a religious card with like the Pope and then the subjects on their knees before the Pope. So look at that as it's a card of subjugation, if I'm saying that. I can't speak. But so it's like law and order. This was his year to lay down the law. This is his year to say, hey, you guys underneath are going to kneel to this authority. I didn't realize that Ukraine has only been recognized as an independent country since 1991. So not very long. It's also, energy-wise, is the chariot in the tower. So it's also a very, if you looked at Canada, is very feminine. United States is very feminine. I believe Britain is very feminine. So we have this alpha male energy of Ukraine. That's the energy of their country. And it's the energy there is also the chariot or the tower. The country itself is so stubborn. Damn the consequences. So we have Putin and Ukraine. And they both have that same energy. Whereas this year for Ukraine, it's the High Priestess. So I always say about the High Priestess, it's a spiritual trial. You're not going to be the same from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. You're not going to be the same. If they do make it out intact of this so-called war, the next year and the following year is going to be wonderful, Ukraine. But they have to make it through the spiritual. It's a spiritual battle right now. And even though we're seeing the war going on, it's not only physical, it's very spiritual. And there's been a lot of workings going on in Ukraine, meaning the global elite. And I always tell you guys, the global elite, they believe in God, but just not our God. It's a religion. They speak esoterically. They speak in symbols. And I know a lot of you guys are like, no, that's crazy. Just because you don't believe it does not make it so. I've told you this over and over and over again. They tell you their language and everything they write, they do, whatever. Look at all their companies, symbols and logos. That's the language. That's telling you who's part of this cult and who's not. Us little people, we believe in the other God. They believe in a whole nother set of gods, okay? They believe that they are divine, just like how the queen is, from a bloodline of the gods. If you remember, we were tampered with way back when. And even in the Bible, it didn't say they were made in our image. I mean, we were made in the God's image. It wasn't just G-O-D. It was G-O-D-S, the God's image, and our images, which is R, which is more than one. So, a lot of these bloodlines believe that they're the ruler of us because they have this specialized bloodline, just like the kings and queens of past. Where did this king and queen come from? They believe they have better blood than us. They are more in tune to the bloodline. Why are they so inept about people marrying? Who are you marrying and why and where? What their family's from? It's the bloodline. So keep that in mind. So, I'm worried about Putin next year because next year is his lovers and devils. So next year he can make a lot of bad decisions, and he can make a lot of bad decisions in regards to his own ego. Let me see. I only have 50 minutes on this. So let me just see. Where is Putin right now? Where's his mind at? I was looking for my apocalyptic deck. I couldn't find it. That kind of sucks. I really wanted to use that deck. So we're going to do Putin. I had this deck too. Let's see. Putin. Where is Putin at? Eight of Swords. He's boxed himself in a situation. He's boxed himself in a situation of his own making. And does he have a way out? Does he want a way out? You know, he is. So even with his plans. So we are at the teeter. Anything can kind of happen. We can have someone be, you know, trigger happy with the nukes, this and that. So he's boxed himself. He made this decision and he's kind of boxed himself in. And it's a decision of his own making. And it's gonna, and he's just looking for a way out right now. Let's see. What's the cross to bear? It's trying, he wants it all. The cross to bear is, I want it. I want to hold on to it. So he's trying to hold on to things physically, whether it's Ukraine, assets, whatever. So he's boxed himself in a position. But also, why he's done this is because he wants to hold on to something of physical value, money, maybe his economy, this and that. But you see, he's the egg and he's on the wall, so he could fall. But he's doing his best to hold on to something for him and his country. So whatever's going on in Ukraine has to do with Russia trying to hold on to their wealth and their physicality. Underneath all of that is he wants to go back to a family. Was Ukraine? I don't know too much of that. I believe Ukraine was part of Russia before in 1991, which was funny. In 1991, the first two countries that acknowledged Ukraine as an independent country was Canada and Poland. So he wants Ukraine to come back into the fold as family, as part of that. In the past, this has been, you know, kind of a standoff, holding their ground for a while. So about the last year, they've felt like in the last year that they've kind of been hijacked. Russia kind of felt like they were surrendering in the last year. So they, even though they felt like they were protected, they had their shell on, they felt that they were on the island on themselves, but amongst a bunch of crap and turbulence, they felt like they had surrendered, or they were weak, or they were surrendering. But through that, they seen through the cloudy times and the turbulent times, better things were to come. So that was going on in the last year. What's on Putin's mind is the Nine of Swords, is standing his ground. He's gonna, remember I said he's that the chariot. You know, I'm going to hold my ground, damn the consequences. Make a decision. And with the chariot, I always advise people, look at plan A, plan B, plan C. Don't just make a decision and go full steam ahead, damn the consequences. Because you can cause the tower event to happen. So he's going to stand his ground. On his mind is, he's like, he has to live with his decision. So he's thinking in his brain, he's like, yo, I don't think he's all that like happy. He knew he had to do what he had to do, But I think it weighs heavily on his mind. This decision he made, I feel like it's weighed heavily on his mind. And it's part of, look at the chess. This was part of, he wants things to go back. Things aren't as black and white as things appear to be, or the way that the way that the news and everything is appearing to be. Things aren't as black and white. It's a major gray. This was a major chess move to get back to maybe where Russia stood before. So remember, I said for the last year, they felt like they were kind of trapped or on an island on their own. They felt like, you know, they were surrendering to something. This is my chess move. And I always said that Putin was playing chess. This is my chess move. And nothing is black and white. And I want it back to a time where things used to be. Let's see. He's kind of isolated, and I feel like because of him doing this, you know, he went from him being them like feeling like they surrendered to something to now in the next year he's gonna feel isolated. Russia's gonna feel isolated, right? But with them being isolated, they have this firm shell, so they're protected. They do have some vulnerabilities in the head area, meaning like intellectual. Those are the, like, people can target with computers, whatever, the intellectual things, and maybe even some of their food, but they are insulated and they have a shield. Money is going to come in. Money is going to come in. Money is coming in to them. And things are going to be good for Russia. Things are going good for Russia. I think they're going to reunite with Ukraine or whatever, or another power. There's someone that's in power with them. Either they're going to reunite with Ukraine, yes, or there's someone, another, maybe China with them, and they are, you know, twins, and they are watching, you know, they are in this together. So I think he felt like he had to do this for the financial security of Russia. I feel like he wanted them. I feel like he's gonna feel isolated, but in this, he's protected. They may have some vulnerabilities intellectual wise and also their food wise, but other than that, they feel protected. This was a chess move. Now things are black and white. Okay, I'm gonna try to do a relationship between them and Ukraine. Okay. And then I'm going to end this because I feel like this is going to cut off in a little while. I'm sorry. And then I'll do a part 2. So have your Ukrainian questions and Russia questions in the comments. Make sure if you want your own personal reading, contact me at intuitiveretta@gmail.com. Let's see. This is about kingship right now. This is a deep relationship between Ukraine and Russia, you know, and there can only be one king. And it's an emotional relationship between Russia and Ukraine, but there can only be one king. Let's see. I'm going to do Ukraine on this side. Ukraine. There's a lot of passion and anger and stuff in Ukraine. There's a lot of passion. And there's also, remember, if you guys remind me from that other channel, the Queen of Wands shows up all the freaking time. Queen of Wands, and we still haven't figured her out. She is really into play. She's one of those globalists. We got to figure out who she is. And is this Ukraine going to be off the table for chess? Because she has a chess piece in her hand too. Is this still a chess move on her part, on this globalist part? Let's see. Him. He wants everything to end. He wants this to be completed. What does Ukraine, what does Putin want? What does Ukraine want from Putin? They do kind of look, they wanted Putin as like a protector, Russia as like a protector, even though, they wanted him as a protector and someone to help them financially, help them eat or stuff like that. So don't just think this is black and white and that president that's on Ukraine, That's saying things. I think the people look as maybe Putin as like a father figure, a protector. What does Putin want from Ukraine? He's going in there for money. Money and financial things and physical things. That's what he wants from them. Let's see. They're going... I feel like Ukraine is sick right now. They're sick, and people have been watching them. They've been sick for a while. Maybe the public has been asleep. The people in Ukraine have been asleep, and the whole world is watching. And right now, there's a lot of sickness going on, and there's two factions fighting over Ukraine. There's two factions, so it could be Putin and like maybe the globalists. Two factions, and this queen is part of it. Okay. He wants the family back together. Is showing it again. He wants everything good. Putin. He wants the family. He thinks it's going to be financial benefit for not only his country but Ukraine. He wants everything to be good. One happy family again. He's standing by his position. He's standing by his position. Damn the consequences. There's a lot of emotions. The people are very emotional on both sides. So people are going to be fighting with a lot of emotions on both sides. On Russia and Ukraine. There's a lot of emotions going on. A lot of hidden things going on. There's a lot of hidden things going on. I want to say that Ukraine, I want to know what kind of ritualistic things are going on in Ukraine. I think there's a lot of hidden things going on. It's a big black hole. Ukraine is a big black hole of mystery, of things going on. And is this a way to kind of able to kind of, everything gets hidden in regards to all this chaos? Like things can be buried, things can be hidden. All this proof and all this dirty dealings, can all this be hidden now? I feel like this was it's the same cards over again. Heavy on Putin's mind. This decision wasn't made lightly. This is also a card of rest. Like I keep saying there, that this is a card of rest. I think the people are tired. I think that I think even COVID has messed things up over there. But this is, I think people have eaten so much off of them, off of Ukraine. People have eaten so much that, it has tired that country out. I feel like Ukraine is going to take its wins that it can. It's going to take its wins as it can. I think that there's that relationship. I don't know if this is the relationship with Ukraine or another major power in regards to them. It's going to be financial. It's going to be a financial benefit for that country. I also see three powers coming together. So I see this Queen of Wands, and I know she's evil. Whoever this Queen of Wands is part of the global elite. And I see there's someone in the middle that kind of looks dazed and confused. And then there's another one. So there's two fractions. And are they coming together in a celebration for what? What are they coming in together for a celebration of? Okay, let's see, I got 25 minutes. Let me see. So right now there's a spiritual battle going on for this year for Ukraine. If they get through this year, then things are going to be better. But I do see, next year is going to be abundance for them. So that's good too. Next year will be abundance for them. And whoever, if it's with Putin, Russia, or by themselves, I find if they get through this, the spiritual challenge, the things will be good. Let's see about Ukraine. What's going on in Ukraine? Energy. Money. There's a lot of money, a lot of wealth, a lot of money in Ukraine, and a lot of temptation. Ukraine tempts a lot of people. You see that this is like Eat Me, how Alice in Wonderland. Very much a lot of temptation going on. What's the cross to bear is that they also put themselves in a position and they're looking for a way out. So there's a lot of temptation, and that temptation has caused them. Why they have this temptation is because they put themselves in a position which is a hard way out. And they did it to themselves. Underneath is also they've been taken from one to give to another. So this was always coming because there's been a whole bunch of people surrounding Ukraine for their money, or to take things, or to get a handout. And Ukraine's government has been taken from one to give to the other. Maybe taken from the people to give to these other corrupt people. Let's see, in the last year, things have been good for them in the last year. Money's been going well. Business has been going well. On their mind, look at this. Not knowing where, they didn't really understand what they got themselves into. They put their hand. Maybe they were naive and they started putting their hands in things, and maybe they got more than what they accounted for. It's also about money. I mean, they've been giving out money. It was a plan. It's like lavishness. Their plan was with money, like giving away a lot of money. I also see that the country itself wants to go into a new direction. There's going to be a lot of pain and suffering in the next year. It went from, lots of food and money and things were going good and jobs, to this year that there's going to be a lot of pain, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Remember, I said they're in a spiritual battle right now. And even Putin, this was heavy. Don't think that this was easy for Putin to make this decision. It wasn't. But I think they're going to lose a lot of things. They're going to lose a lot of things financially, but at the same time, they're going to gain. So even though they're going to gain something, so even though they're in this pain and stuff, they're going to gain something. They're going to gain someone to kind of handle them gently. Okay, so this battery is about to go out. What is United States' response going to be to Putin before we go? United States' response to Putin invading Ukraine. United States also put themselves in the predicament that there's no easy way out. Their response is to bring them more money, more things, maybe more. Their response is to send more money, more things, more guns, more whatever. I always want to throw money at a situation. And then I'm worried is that maybe we're the third person. Remember, I said that these two have tired themselves out, and then the third person is looking on both of them. So is that America looking at both of these countries or both of these groups and maybe contemplating which way they're going to go? I think we're losing a lot of money. America, we're losing a lot of money, but I think we're going to coddle Ukraine. Maybe we're gonna coddle Ukraine, and we're gonna lose a lot of money and a lot of physicality of things. So you guys are much more smarter than me. What kind of other questions will you want to know about this whole Ukraine, Russia, United States, all that? Put them down below so that I can charge this battery and I'll get back to the questions at hand. Talk to you guys later. Bye.